Welcome. We have Aaron and Jen from CyberTracks. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming down. We're so excited about the new label. Got Unwritten Law, so many incredible artists coming out. Give us a little bit of background, kind of how the idea of like, hey, it's time for us to create a label.
Well, do you want to hit that one? Or you want
I don't think we really ever wanted to create a label. I think it just kind of like fell in our laps. You know, you have a cool story when you were working with.
We were working. I've been mixing bands and producing and stuff. So I was doing a band called Margate, and what I would usually do is I would produce or mix a project and hand it over, and somebody else would take it from there and do their deal. And a lot of times they wouldn't go any further than that. So the Margate guy said, "Why don't you guys put it out?" And I was like, I never thought of that before.
Why not?
I was like, should we do this? You know, and we
The only reason I agreed to it was because all three of them work at Universal Records, so they promised to kind of walk us through it and help, you know, build the company and establish a foundation, and that's pretty much how it started. I mean, like I said, it just fell in our lap. We never sat down one day and said, hey, you know, let's start a record label.
So we didn't want to be called a record label. I don't want to be a label.
Yeah,
right, you don't want everybody pitching their demos to you.
Yeah, I don't want to be that. I go, well, let's just put it out and be something different. And we tried to call it something
like
different.
A releasing group.
Yeah, we tried that, and then our attorney got involved and says, no, you have to be called a label and do everything right. And we're like, oh, okay. And then I guess we're a label.
Technically.
But you know, a label comes in all shapes and sizes. Like I always tell people, a label doesn't mean you got to have a office with a secretary and all that. I mean, it's really, you're creating content, you're distributing and marketing it.
Yes.
And other than that, a little bit of admin, you know, a little bit of technical stuff.
I mean, the industry is changing so rapidly, so drastically, and it's kind of like to start a new label nowadays. I mean, you really do have to be creative and unique. If you're like the big dogs and you're adjusting to how things are changing, it's a lot different than starting from the beginning, the way things are now. So, you know, we still don't really want to be a label. We really just want to be like partnership with our artists, and
you're kind of like a camp. You're kind of like the home base.
We really do everything very family style, and
that's what we are. We're partners with the band. We're business partners.
Right.
We split everything 50-50 and go, let's do this together.
Yeah, we share our masters 50-50 with the bands.
Any revenue that we're generating, we split it with the band.
Okay.
My rule is, my whole thing is to make sure the label doesn't make more than the bands, and the bands don't make more than label. On sales. We don't
one for all for one.
Yeah, we don't take their publishing or any of their tour money or merch or anything. All that is left for that.
Of course, you know, if they kill it on publishing, that's theirs. It's like, you deserve it. It's your money.
Yeah. But if you guys get placements for them, you get a cut of that.
Yes. We get,
of course.
Because we still have half of the masters.
Okay. There we go. Well, now tell us about the story of Unwritten Law. We all know about the great songs Scott makes. We know all about the history of the band. How did the paths cross?
History of the band.
We went to a show actually because we are working with 10 Football right now, and we're just about finishing up production on that album. And they were opening for Unwritten Law at the House of Blues in Hollywood. So we went to that show, and then hung out with the guys in Unwritten Law. And 10 Foot Pole was on an entire tour with them, so they were kind of I don't know, they love us. Maybe we're doing something right. I don't know, but so they told the guys in Unwritten Law, like Jenn and Heffe, they're they're very fair. They're good to work with. They have our backs. Stuff like that. So they were interested, and the rest is history.
They approached us and were like, should we do this? Yeah, cool.
So it's all very organic. It's about the vibe. It's about the chemistry.
Yeah.
You don't want to do anything that's like out of your comfort zone, and you want to make sure that they understand kind of your business ethic, how you're trying to treat the bands, and kind of what your mindset is. So there's no surprises.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to complain that we're splitting the masters and sharing revenue equally. So
you want to be more than fair.
We want to be unique though. Like, you talk about all the other genres that you're in, and the people that you want to work with, and he's very into hip hop stuff.
Okay. Tell us about that. because we love hip hop as much as rock. You know, I mean.
Yeah, I lived in Humboldt County for a long time. I had my recording studio there, my hip hop studio. I had a nightclub there called Heffe's Nightclub.
Okay.
I met 2 DJs. I hired them to be my DJs. They're currently in a group called Potluck.
Oh yeah.
Hip hop group out of Humboldt County. And you know, they kind of brought me in and showed me the drum machines, the MPC 2000, SB 1200, keyboards and sound modules, and they introduced me to MIDI. You know, and I'm like a hands-on, you know.
Yeah,
guitar,
analog.
Yeah, analog, and I was just like, what is this? You know, and I know, you want to make a beat? I go, yeah, I want to make a beat. You know, and I sat down and started playing, and, you know, one thing led to another. I started working them for years and learning all about beat making and hip-hop, and I started making beats, and my beats started getting used on, you know, different CDs, and I got to work with Spice One.
Okay.
He rapped on one of my beats.
The Bay Area legend.
Oh yeah, X-Clan, Brother J.
Sure.
Who else? I did a song with Cottonmouth Kings here in Los Angeles.
Of course.
Yeah, Big B.
All that suburban noise stuff.
Yeah. There was even an E40 song that I mixed at my house. And a lot of Bay Area rapper stuff. It was cool.
Yeah.
I got to meet a lot of rappers and you know, get into that scene.
Well, we always say there's 2 kinds of music. Music that moves you and music that doesn't. So whether it be rock, punk, pop, hip-hop, club music, whatever, country, whatever it is, if it moves you, you shouldn't have to explain it.
Right. There's a lot of country songs that I love too that move me. There's also EDM, dance music, some dubstep, Skrillex stuff. I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. You know, because I was been making hip hop beats for a long time. We did a NOFX tour with Crystal Method.
Okay.
A bunch of festivals and stuff in Australia. So I was watching them and just like, oh my God, this sounds just amazing. And then from Crystal Method to Skrillex, it was just like, whoa. It's like a whole nother level of, you know, space age sounding, almost alien sounding sounds. And I'm really into that too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all creativity, and that was the worst part about punk rock when it started. It's like, well, if you like this, you can't like that. And then bands like Motorhead came in with the long hair, and they're like, are they punk? Are they metal? I remember even when AC/DC first came out, 76, people were like, well, it looks like rock, but they got this like punk attitude, man. It's like anything that's hitting the stage was like a fucking hurricane or something, man.
I always hated that. In junior high school, I was into rock music and soul. Back then it was called rock and soul.
Yeah.
You know, and I was into pop locking, and I was a break dancer.
Sure.
I got into high school, but I was always told by my peers, you can't listen to soul, man, if you like rock. Or you can't like rock if you listen to soul.
Yeah,
if you like soul, you got to
You can't like punk if you like metal.
And
or
I was like, well, what is this? Why can't we?
Where's the rule book?
Yeah, who made these rules? This is stupid.
This is what punk rock's all about, is throw the rules out.
Right?
Yeah, do what you want.
Yeah,
it's your
man.
life. Fucking whatever moves you, man.
Yeah, why?
Making a statement.
Yeah. Why do we have to live by somebody else's rules, man?
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about the DIY indie spirit is if you can make it and it's legal and people love it, who cares what you want to call it or what scene you're out of or who's, you know what I mean? That's what I always loved when a lot of metal kids got into hip hop, you know. Of course, the metal purists are like, oh, this new metal, this rap rock, you know, or they're going to kill our pure metal. Oh, man, they're mixing it up.
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit and Korn and you know, Deftones and whatever. I mean,
I was
it's
a big
all that
metalhead
shit.
before I joined NOFX and moved to Hollywood. I was into like Merciful Fate, Slayer, Metallica, and it was my thing.
Yeah.
I went from classic rock to metal, and then from metal to punk.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah. But then again, you had, you know, Anthrax and Public Enemy, or you had Run DMC and Aerosmith. You know, they were mixing it up. So it's always good to see people think out of the box. I remember when Papa Roach first came out, it was kind of metal, but you looked at the video on MTV and it looked kind of like this gangster rap kind of attitude.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, they had their image. It was cool,
man.
You know?
The infestation thing.
Yeah, like if you go see Korn live, NOFX has done shows with Korn, and they had that same gangster prison look, you know.
Right.
Rags hanging.
Yeah, fieldy, man. The bass is hanging way down,
cool look
and
to them, you know. They got their
the
vibe.
dreads and all that. Yeah, that's great stuff. Now tell us about some of the other projects CyberTracks is putting out.
CyberTracks.
We have some secrets that we can't tell yet.
We won't tell anybody.
We have a new Implants EP coming out,
Okay.
I think May 27th or 29th,
Okay.
whatever that Friday is. We have 10 Football coming out.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be maybe fall, late fall probably.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we have some secret stuff coming up.
Stuff in the works.
Unwritten Law is April 1st.
Okay.
So
Now, like 10 Foot Pole, did you have anything to do with any production or mixing, or did they turn in a finished record?
No, they picked who they wanted to work with.
Okay.
And we just dealt with that. My wife deals with the business side of everything.
Okay.
yeah, he didn't actually participate on that one, but he has participated on some implant stuff.
Yeah.
Implants, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they're all members of other bands. Strung Out, Pulley, 10 Foot Pole. The drummer was in Voodoo Glow Skulls, and not Deftones. What was he in? Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank.
One of those bands.
Yeah.
One of those.
And he's now he's filling in a lot for Authority Zero.
Okay.
Sean Sellers, who's in Good Riddance when he's with Good Riddance.
But it's kind of cool sometimes when you got your day job, but you kind of getting jamming with some other guys and it clicks, and
What's
now all of a
funny
sudden
is, yeah,
everybody's got this extracurricular project.
Well, it's a lot of our bands are like our members are in the same bands with each other. Like these two guys are in this band, and then those two are in this band. So it's kind of like if you know we book shows or whatever and have two of our bands playing, the guys call it playing double duty. So you know they just go right from one set straight into the next.
Right.
They're just all kind of like switching
A lot of
members
metal
around.
bands are like that
They're
these
like
days.
punk rock soldiers. They're just going for it.
Yeah, have guitar will travel.
Yeah.
They're banging it out.
Yeah.
So what's on the wish list? I know you can't talk about some of the things you're talking to and negotiating, but where would you like to see comfortably the label go? What's kind of your wish list or dream for what you're doing with this?
I mean, personally, I'd like to keep everything small and family style, you know, hands-on.
Yeah, label business-wise for sure.
Yeah.
I just have this dream of bringing back good music. I think we're at a point where music is kind of at a standstill, kind of like everything's been done, and throughout the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, everything changed so much, you know, and just, I don't know, I feel like there's not that good of music out there anymore, and that whole, like, late 90s, early 2000s pop punk, you know, stuff that came out, it just came and left so fast, and there's still really good music out there to be shared, and, you know, I'm hoping by this thing that Kevin Lyman just did, I mean, 30,000 people in attendance.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, that's a sign that there's still interest out there for band, you know.
There's still people out there interested in seeing and hearing, and, you know.
Yeah, checking out some classics, but also checking out some new bands, you know, and new music from bands that you know. These, you know, bands don't want to just keep playing the same songs from 20 years ago, you know. It's always about new blood, new energy, new ideas, and, you know, everybody that's talented deserves to have somebody champion their cause, somebody that can do what they don't do.
Yeah.
They might write songs and record, but they need somebody to distribute and market, or, you know, help set them up with an agent or something like that.
Or hook them up with a better producer, or you know, get someone big to mix the album, make it really sound pro. You know, there's a lot of talented guys out there that can play and can write songs, but they're just not getting that quality recording. You know,
Sure.
That's where they're lacking. It's like get a demo.
That's the key is getting a really good quality production that's up to date, up to the times.
Something that's competitive.
It sounds today.
Your ears get
If a radio
trained.
station wants to play it, they don't want an excuse like, oh, we'd play it, but it doesn't sound right.
Technology keeps advancing so much, and then as through the years, as it's getting better and better, our ears get trained to hear it at such good quality, and then, you know, someone submits a demo to us that sounds like a 90s punk rock demo, and we're like, oh, the songwriting is so there and it's amazing, but the production quality is so behind the times.
The stuff today that's coming out is so clean and so clear.
Yeah.
You know, everything sounds big, it's in your face, it's so crystal clear. And you go back and listen to bands that were putting stuff out in the early 90s, and it sounds so noisy and messy, and you're just like, wow, big difference, you know.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now, I know every project's different, but some some projects you kind of get in there and help them kind of maybe even arrange some of the songs a little better? Because a great song is really what it's all about.
Sometimes a band will say, hey, we want your input. You want to come down to the studio and, you know, like,
tighten up the songs.
Sure. Yeah, give my point of view or my 2 cents. You know, I did that on the CP that's coming out by the Implants. I hung out for a good week in the studio with all of them, and, you know, I'm saying, oh, you know what would sound cool right there? The little guitar thing right here at the end. And great musicians. They're all pros, veterans.
And that's where some of those deep roots come into play. Because if you listen to a little bit of pop, listen to a little bit of hip hop, listen to a little bit of dance music, you know, not that you're trying to make them any one style, but you have more colors to paint with. You kind of a hook is a hook.
I think so.
You know?
I think it's more colors. Your palette has got a wider variety.
You can kind of tighten up some of the things and make it catchy, even though they might not know where you pulled that idea from. It's really being a music lover first.
Yeah. Well, he's a genius. Like, he's got a good ear when it comes to like clashing notes. Whereas, you know, these 2 guitar players at Implants, I mean, they do a lot of the dueling guitar solos. They just shred. It's insane. It's amazing.
Awesome.
And then they'll call him in there and be like, hey, Heffe, you know, is this working? He'll be like, no, that note's clashing with that note. All you have to do is play it like this. You know, he'll change one little note and then it's just, it clicks. You know, it locks in and perfection. You know, it's done. And then he's also really good with harmonies. And
I studied in college. I was a music major.
Okay.
And I had choir, barbershop quartet, classical, and sang. I learned a lot about harmonizing through all the vocal classes that I took.
That's very important.
Music theory too is the ear training. So I think I'm pretty good when I hear like, ooh, something's clashing, something's out of tune. There's 2 notes in there somewhere. Start soloing things like, where's it at? You know, and finding it. You know, oh, here we go. This bass note is clashing with the vocal line right here, or whatever it may be.
So important.
Yeah, they also tell me that they usually bring him in there too to add some comedic value. You know, bring in some comedy into the studio. While they're tracking.
Well, I know you're studying acting and all that now, so even more things to draw from now. Whether they're making a music video or working out the live show. Because, you know, if you're not in the first 10 rows, you're kind of back there looking, and sometimes that body movement, that kind of, you know, attitude goes a long way to getting the crowd into it.
For the past year and a half, I've been studying at the Groundlings. It's an acting school, a comedy acting school.
Legendary.
And it's legendary. A lot of stars came out of there. Will Ferrell, Melissa McCarthy. The list goes on and on.
Way back, 70s.
I haven't acted.
Isn't like Pee Wee Herman or
Happy Days.
Saturday Night Live
Mr.
guy.
Miyagi from Karate Kid.
Yeah, man.
He's from that school.
Sure.
So I have an acting friend. His name's Chris Reed. He was in the Sons of Anarchy for like 3 or 4 seasons. He brought me to a show there, and I was like, oh, this is fucking incredible. I want to learn how to do this.
Jump in.
I started taking classes.
And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
I'm at the end of intermediate now. You have to audition to get into the school.
Yeah.
It's, you know, do sketch comedy. I have a performance next Wednesday at the Actors Company. My first time performing sketch. I wrote it myself.
Wow.
Performance is kind of cool. It gives me a different outlook on videos and stuff. And
it's another part of the creative mind, but it just expands the palette, the paints.
It's like learning a new instrument for me.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is totally different, and it's so much different than playing on stage and getting in front of a classroom. You know, my first time, I was like, I feel like it's my first time on stage. This is crazy.
Flying without a net.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't have my band, I don't have my guitar.
Nothing to hide behind.
Yeah.
It's improv, you got to make it up on the spot. And I'm like,
That's incredible. But now, as you develop that, that's going to help you with your stage performance. It's going to help you with your working with other bands. I mean, it's just another talent that.
Yeah, I find that when I'm performing now with NOFX, that things just kind of go click, click, click. When I'm up on the stage now, you know, we were always, me and Mike have our banter and we do our thing. I found the last few shows that I did, I'm up there, I've been doing all these classes, and I'm just like, hey, man, boom, 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 click, click, things are just clicking in my head faster, and ideas are popping into my head. I was like, where's this coming from?
That's amazing stuff. And where can people find you on the web?
cyber-tracks.com.
Great.
Or facebook.com/CyberTracks, I think. No
CyberTracks it is. Yeah. Search CyberTracks. We're going to find out all the great new music. Thank you so much, guys, for coming down.
Thanks for having us.
Love to have you at IES and all the great stuff coming out.
It's a really cool place you got here. I love it.
Thanks so much, man.
It's really
it's a museum of rock and roll and everything. hip hop. Wow.
We'll keep that indie spirit alive, man. We love it. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.